Taiwan silent on reports foreign minister joined Philippines business trip.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is refusing to say whether Foreign Minister Lin Qiaolong is part of a business delegation now in the Philippines. The delegation is being led by Deputy Agriculture Minister Huang Chao-chin, Chinese International Economic Cooperation Association Chair Joseph Liu, and U.S.-Taiwan Business Council Vice President Lotta Danielson. The trip follows the signing in May of an agreement between the Chinese International Economic Cooperation Association and the U.S.-Taiwan Business Council to expand cooperation in third markets. The Foreign Ministry says the delegation's members were agreed upon after negotiations with Manila. The statements come after Philippine lawmaker asked Manila's Department of Foreign Affairs to confirm Lin's presence in the Philippines. Department Secretary Ma Teresa Lazaro told the committee that the department has no official knowledge of Lin's presence in the country. Philippine media reports say the exchange between Lazaro and Philippine Senator Amy Marcos comes amid a policy shift under her brother, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. The president has eased restrictions on government agencies hosting Taiwanese delegations for economic and business reasons. https://businessmirror.com.ph-2025-08-27- Senate probes reported visit of Taiwan Foreign Minister. Lie looking for deeper Asia-Pacific ties.
Lie looking for deeper Asia-Pacific ties.
President Lai Ching-te says his administration will work with Asia-Pacific partners to promote peace and sustainable development. The president told attendees at the 2025 General Assembly of the Asian Pacific Parliamentarians Union in Taipei that Taiwan would demonstrate its determination to safeguard regional peace, and that peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait are indispensable to security and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific. Lai said Taiwan is boosting economic cooperation with the United States, Japan, and the European Union, while at the same time strengthen exchanges with allies and like-minded partners through the Asian Pacific Parliamentarians Union and other platforms. Lai also touted his plans to increase defense spending to more than 3% of GDP next year. The event included Taiwan lawmakers from across party lines and parliamentarians from Japan, Guam, the Marshall Islands, Palau, Tuvalu, and the Northern Mariana Islands. Overcrowding top priority. Incoming Health Minister.
Overcrowding top priority. Incoming Health Minister.
Incoming Health Minister Shi Chungliang says he would make easing crowding in emergency rooms a top priority after he takes office. He said authorities plan to introduce the early supported discharge model, under which patients who are stabilized can be moved to home or outpatient care sooner, in order to improve bed turnover and admit patients more quickly. She said that around 80% of cases are minor and do not require hospitalization, but when these patients with minor conditions flood ERs, they still need to be handled by medical staff and affect the efficiency of care. She told reporters that it's crucial to divert patients from overcrowded ERs, especially during holidays when most community clinics are closed. And he will continue to push for urgent care centers, which would operate on holidays, to handle urgent but not critical conditions, such as wound suturing and pediatric problems. In the first quarter of this year, 77,000 patients waited more than 24 hours in ERs before being admitted to a ward. This accounts for 3.75% of emergency admissions, up from about 3.32% in 2023. She is presently Director General of the National Health Insurance Administration and assumes his new role next Monday. He succeeds Chu Tai-yuan as part of the cabinet reshuffle. TFD shows most people support recall system.
TFD shows most people support recall system.
A survey by the government-funded Taiwan Foundation for Democracy shows that a majority of people prefer a legislature led by the opposition and support the existing recall system to remove elected representatives or officials. The foundation says the results of the polls are in line with the recently concluded recall votes targeting KMT lawmakers. The results show just over 50.5% of respondents support using the recall system to remove elected representatives or officials they deem incompetent, while 38.4% view it as prone to being used as a tool for political revenge. The surveys also found that more than 60% of respondents agree that democratic checks and balances work best when the president and the largest group of lawmakers in the legislature are from different parties, with only 24.5% disagreeing with that. The foundation says the polls show that Taiwanese believe the executive branch should be kept in check by the legislature, and the outcome of the recent recall efforts was therefore not surprising. Former DPP lawmaker indicted on corruption embezzlement charges.
Former DPP lawmaker indicted on corruption embezzlement charges.
The Taipei District Prosecutor's Office has indicted former DPP lawmaker Chen Opo on charges of corruption and embezzlement. Chen served as a lawmaker from 2012 to 2020. Prosecutors say he accepted bribes from United Logistics International during his time in office and then took advantage of his position to hold meetings, raise questions, and propose legislation that benefited the company. Prosecutors also say Chen used his position on the Legislative Transportation Committee to convene meetings that would delay or amend guidelines restricting rental car companies' cooperation with Uber and penalizing illegal passenger solicitation. He was allegedly paid a 500,000 new Thai bribe by the chair of the Rent Car Quality Assurance Association to do that. Prosecutors are seeking a sentence of 24 years in prison. Chen's wife and 14 other people have also been indicted in connection with the case. The charges include violations of the Anti-Corruption Act, embezzlement, violations of the Money Laundering Control Act, and misappropriation of public funds. Taiwan traces Chinese hackers selling stolen data to trafficking ring.
Taiwan traces Chinese hackers selling stolen data to trafficking ring.
The Investigation Bureau says it's traced a Chinese hacker group called Crazy Hunter, which allegedly sold stolen personal data to trafficking rings in both Taiwan and China. According to the Bureau, members of Crazy Hunter launched ransomware attacks on Taiwan-based hospitals, listed companies and universities in February and March, demanding ransom payments. The targets of the ransomware attacks included the McKay Memorial Hospital, the Chonghua Christian Hospital, and Kading Enterprises, which reported the incidents to local authorities. Prosecutors say Crazy Hunter consisted of 2 Chinese nationals who sold stolen data to a trafficking ring that included a Chinese national and 2 Taiwanese nationals. 2 of the suspects were detained during raids on premises here in Taiwan, carried out from between May to earlier this month. Those two suspects are under investigation for computer misuse, extortion, and violations of the Personal Data Protection Act. Both have been released on bail of 30,000 Thai paise. Drama, left-handed girl, to represent Taiwan at 2026 Oscars.
Drama left-handed girl to represent Taiwan at 2026 Oscars.
And Auto. Director So Shi-ching's drama, Left-Handed Girl, has been chosen to represent Taiwan as its entry for Best International Feature Film category at next year's Academy Awards. The Ministry of Culture says the movie was chosen because of its vivid portrayal of Taiwan's night markets, told through the perspective of a left-handed girl, highlighting her coming-of-age journey amid clashes with traditional patriarchal society. The drama was selected from 11 candidates by a panel convened by the ministry's Bureau of Audiovisual and Music Industry Development. Co-written by Oscar-winning director Sean Baker, Left-Handed Girl is set against the bustling night markets of Taipei. The movie follows a single mother and her two daughters as they settle in a city after living in the countryside, with each adapting to the new environment in their own way. Left-Handed Girl will debut globally on Netflix on November 28. The Oscars take place on March 15th. U.S. withdraws from UN Human Rights Report.
Cabinet finalizes draft bill on workplace bullying.
In news from and about Taiwan this morning, the cabinet has unveiled draft provisions on the prevention of workplace bullying. The draft provisions define what constitutes bullying and propose penalties, according to proposed amendments to the Occupational Safety and Health Act. Workplace bullying is defined as situations in which a worker, while carrying out their duties, is subjected to offensive, threatening, dismissive, isolating, insulting, or otherwise inappropriate words or actions by someone in the organization who misuses their position or authority. All workplace bullying complaints must also be registered on a website designated by the central competent authority, and the outcome must also be recorded there. Employers who fail to take preventive measures against workplace bullying or neglect to follow the required procedures after receiving a complaint, thereby causing occupational illness, will face a fine of up 1.5 million taipei. The draft amendments will now go to the Legislative Yuan for review. Defense Minister silent on reported U.S. defense posting.
Defense Minister silent on reported U.S. defense posting.
Defense Minister Wellington Koo is refusing to comment on reports that the United States Defense Innovation Unit is planning to post a representative in Taipei to boost drone collaboration. It comes after the Financial Times reported earlier this week that the unit plans to assign liaisons to allies and partners across the Indo-Pacific, Europe, and the Middle East as staff become available. According to the Financial Times, the U.S. entity sent a representative to Taiwan this year to accelerate drone cooperation and tap into the local tech sector. The report went on to say that the liaison officer is expected to be stationed at the American Institute in Taiwan. It also cited one source as saying drones will certainly be a focus, but they will also be looking at connecting to the broader civilian and dual-use ecosystem, including the tech sector. The defense minister says his office maintains close exchanges with U.S. defense agencies, including the Defense Innovation Unit. However, he's declining to elaborate on that. TEL says no evidence TSMC 2nm secrets leaked after ex-employee indicted.
TEL says no evidence TSMC-2NM secrets leaked after ex-employee indicted.
Tokyo Electron Limited is insisting that an internal investigation has so far found no evidence that confidential information about Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing's 2-nanometer technology was leaked to a third party. The statement comes a day after the High Prosecutor's Office indicted 3 engineers on charges of violating the National Security Act for the extraterritorial use of national core key technologies, trade secrets. The 3 suspects have all been charged with theft of trade secrets by obtaining national core technology secrets for use abroad. One of those charged was a former TSMC engineer working at Tokyo Electron. According to the Tokyo-headquartered company, it is treating the case seriously, and information security, including the protection of sensitive data belonging to customers and other stakeholders, is one of its most important operational concerns. Tokyo Electron also says its internal investigation has not found any organized instructions directing the former employee to obtain improper information, and it will continue to fully cooperate with judicial authorities here in Taiwan. 3 indicted for suspected fraud in egg procurement deals.
3 indicted for suspected fraud in egg procurement deals.
The Taipei District Prosecutor's Office has indicted 2 businesswomen and a former employee of the National Animal Industry Foundation for allegedly making questionable deals in the procurement of eggs from abroad for sale in Taiwan. The case dates back to the 2022 egg shortage and the government's decision to purchase eggs from overseas. According to the prosecutor's office, the 3 suspects allegedly netted unlawful gains of over 60 million NT from between 2022 and 2023. Wu Yufei, a Japan-based businesswoman who was a supplier to the National Animal Industry Foundation, is accused of forging transactions documents between Brilliance Biotechnology and her company Crestone in Japan, in which she inflated the price of eggs. Prosecutors says she pocketed just over 6 million Thai penance. Former National Animal Industry Foundation employee Wu Chun-da allegedly signed off on the falsified documents, while Wu Yufei's mother, Qin Yu Chao, established a shell company called Used for the Fraudulent Dealings, Lai Admin, to hold more disaster response drills.
Lay admin to hold more disaster response drills.
The government will be holding a series of drills that include trials of an earthquake warning system next month. According to the Ministry of the Interior, the drill will be taking place from September 17th through 19th and have been organized to coincide with the annual National Disaster Prevention Day, which falls on September 21st. Deputy Interior Minister Ma Shi-yuan says the drills will simulate a magnitude 8.5 earthquake in the Ryukyu Trench east of Taiwan, followed by a tsunami. While the main event will be a 3-day exercise in Yilan County, simulating large-scale rescue operations. An earthquake rescue drill will also be held at Xinzhuang Sports Park in New Taipei City on September 18th and 19th. The government-initiated National Disaster Prevention Day on September 21st, 2000, 1 year after a 7.3 magnitude earthquake killed more than 2,400 people. Taipei says China-made robot dog not yet approved for use.
Taipei says China-made robot dog not yet approved for use.
The Taipei city government is insisting that a China-made robot dog will not be deployed until its contractor obtains government approval and third-party cybersecurity certification. The statement comes after Taipei Deputy Mayor Li Sichuan promoted the robot dog in a social media post earlier this week, in which he said the device could improve patrol efficiency and access narrow sidewalks. However, the city's new construction office says the robot has only been proposed by a contractor to help patrol sidewalks, and the project has yet to be cleared. DPP city councilors are also questioning the robot's safety after the city confirmed that its body was made by a Chinese company. Those city councilors say the manufacturer could remotely operate the device to collect data from Taipei's streets. City Hall officials say the robot would only be used as a vehicle without network access and implementation, which has initially been scheduled for the fourth quarter, will be postponed due to public concern. Knicks star Karl Anthony Towns arrives in Taiwan.
Knicks star Karl Anthony Towns arrives in Taiwan.
And finally, NBA All-Star Karl Anthony Towns of the New York Knicks has arrived in Taiwan to attend a basketball event at the Taoyuan Arena. Dozens of fans were waiting at the entrance to Taoyuan International Airport to greet him on his arrival. Towns signed memorabilia for fans before as he exited the airport. The NBA star is visiting at the invitation of the Taoyuan Taiwan Beer Leopards of the Taiwan Professional Basketball League. He's scheduled to be special guest at a basketball event at the Taoyuan Arena tomorrow, where he will join two-time NBA champion Kawhi Leonard. Saturday's event is jointly organized by the Leopards and the Asian Tournament as part of Leonard's Asia Tour, which includes his first ever visit to Taiwan. Taiwan silent on reports foreign minister joined Philippines business trip.
Liu Shiwen denies rumors of payment for Taichung Shopping Festival.
Taichung Mayor Liu Shiwen today denied claims that she received payment for serving as a spokesperson for the city's annual shopping festival. The mayor spoke to the press at an event yesterday, stating that she has never been paid for her speeches or appearances as mayor. She stresses that she endorses quality events and does so for free. The mayor also spoke about a new project with chipmaker TSMC, noting that construction on a second phase of its Central Taiwan Science Park plant is expected to begin before the end of the year. Liu says the city government has already approved plans for the new facility.
Badminton ace Chou Tianchen enters BWF quarterfinals.
Taiwan's Chou Tianchen has advanced to the quarterfinals of the BWF World Badminton Championships after defeating Japan's Kenta Nishimoto. Chou, who is ranked 6th in the world, won in 3 sets. The win puts Chou in the men's singles quarterfinals for the 6th time in his career. His next opponent is Denmark's Anders Antonsen, who is ranked 2nd in the world. Chou won a bronze medal at the World Championships in 2022.
Chinese revenge porn.
In China, a Telegram channel that posted revenge porn and other non-consensual content of women is highlighting gaps in laws protecting victims of sexual abuse in the country. The channel came to national attention recently and was quickly shut down by Telegram, but activists say alternate channels have already surfaced. They're calling for ways to help women whose images have been posted. They want police to go after the posters or channel administrators or even Telegram itself. And they seek a targeted law to address non-consensual sexual online content. In recent years, Chinese authorities have silenced public activism over women's rights, even sentencing some to prison for promoting Me Too. Mount Fuji, disaster preparedness.
Mount Fuji disaster preparedness.
Japanese officials are releasing AI videos to the public to simulate a potential eruption of Mount Fuji. The videos, unveiled this week for Volcanic Disaster Preparedness Day, show smoke and ash affecting Tokyo. Officials hope to prepare the 37 million people in the greater Tokyo area for possible disasters. The Tokyo metropolitan government warns that an eruption could occur without warning, disrupting transportation and causing health issues. Authorities emphasize that there are no signs that an eruption is nearing, and Fuji hasn't erupted since 1707. But the videos have caused anxiety amongst residents. Japan is known for meticulous disaster planning due to its vulnerability to natural disasters. Of the world's roughly 1,500 active volcanoes, 111 are in Japan, which lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire. Fuji, Japan's tallest peak, used to erupt about every 30 years. But it has been dormant since the 18th century. Cabinet finalizes draft bill on workplace bullying.
Taichung MRT attacker Supreme Court rejects appeal.
A man who went on a random stabbing attack on a Taichung subway train has been sentenced to 9 years and 9 months in prison. The Supreme Court has rejected his appeal today, making the sentencing final. The man surnamed Hong carried out the attack on May 21st, injuring 2 men. The lower court initially sentenced Hong to 10 years in prison, but an appeals court later reduced the sentence by 3 months after Hong reached a settlement with the victims. Today, the Supreme Court upheld that decision.
LY passes tax break extension for replacing old cars, scooters.
Lawmakers have passed an extension on a tax break for replacing old cars and scooters with new ones. A legislative yuan passed a bill today that extends tax cuts until the end of 2030 and also adds a tax reduction for people who buy a new car in some cases. Before this, the tax break had been set to expire next year. Now those who buy a new car under 2,000 cc may receive a $50,000 NT reduction, as well as an additional $50,000 NT off if they trade in an old vehicle. And for scooters under 150 cc's, buyers can get a $2,000 NT reduction with another $4,000 off if they trade in their old scooter.
Chiayi police catch serial claw machine thief.
In Chiayi, police have caught a man who allegedly repeatedly stole merchandise from claw machines in the county. The suspect, surnamed Chen, was arrested as he was leaving a hotel in a stolen car. Police also found a gun, bullets, 2 samurai swords, and the stolen claw machine merchandise. Chen is now facing theft, firearm, and drug charges. Police say that they had been pursuing Chen for days and that he was facing charges in Tainan, Yunlin, and Chiayi City, in addition to Chiayi County. A case remains under investigation.
Taiwan shares.
Taiwan shares are slightly down today, with the benchmark TAIEX losing 3 points to close the session at 24,233. The turnover was 464.6 billion NT. UN starvation in Gaza very evident.
UN starvation in Gaza very evident.
UN officials say starvation in the Gaza Strip is very evident. That's after the director of the UN World Food Program visited the Gaza Strip. She says that she spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who claims that he is concerned about the issue. That's as international experts say that famine in the Gaza Strip will spread without a ceasefire. But Israel rejects the famine declaration and has called claims of starvation a propaganda campaign by Hamas. Israel now says that it plans to seize Gaza City. Liu Shoyan denies rumors of payment for Taichung Shopping Festival.
New rep to EU pledges utmost efforts.
Taiwan's new representative to the European Union and Belgium is pledging to fully dedicate himself to the new role. Xie Zhiwei served as Taiwan's representative to Germany for 9 years. Xie said that he and his team in Berlin had worked to deepen understanding within Germany that Taiwan's security is important to both sides. His comments come after a presidential decree confirming his new assignment was released. Xie, 70, holds a doctorate in German literature from Ruhr University Bochum in Germany. He was first appointed as Taiwan's representative to Germany in May 2005 under Chen Shui-bian, serving for 2 years before resuming the post from 2016 to 2025. Prior to his posting to Germany, Xie had headed the now disbanded Government Information Office under the Executive Yuan. Xie's last position will reportedly be filled by current Taiwanese representative to Sweden, Ku Ruisheng.
Taiwan's first National Archives trial run in September.
More transportation options are now available for the trial run of Taiwan's first National Archives facility. The National Archives Administration says the center in Linkou, New Taipei, will open for its trial run on September 2nd, with a full opening planned for November 22nd. And to help visitors get there, the administration is working with the city to provide a new bus stop and a free shuttle service. The shuttle will run from Taoyuan Retro A9 Linkou Station directly to the archives during its opening hours. And the new bus stop, formerly called the Linkou Public Housing Stop, uses energy-efficient displays that show real-time bus information and updates about events at the archives. The stop is located next to the main entrance of the archives and also connects to an outdoor walkway.
South Korea's former First Lady indicted.
South Korean special prosecutors have indicted the wife of jailed ex-president Yoon Suk-yeol and former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo on criminal charges. The indictments of former First Lady Kim Kyun-hee and Han are part of 3 special prosecutor investigations launched under the government of Liberal President Lee Jae-myung. The investigations have targeting the presidency of Yoon, a conservative who was removed from office in April and rearrested last month over his December martial law decree. Yoon's defense minister, safety minister, and many other senior military commanders and police officers have already been arrested over their involvements in imposing martial law. Taichung MRT attacker Supreme Court rejects appeal.
MND. PLA aims for military might strengthened by 2035. Make Taiwan straight.
Domestic waters. The Ministry of National Defense says the PLA hopes to realize the complete modernization of its military by 2035. In order to be ready to turn the Taiwan Strait into domestic waters by conducting a complete blockade of Taiwan. A new report from the MND points out that Chinese military activity has now expanded past the liminal island chain, even extending into the South Pacific. The MND says these changes are representative of a more proactive, offensive approach by the PLA. A liminal island chain is the string of islands beginning with Japan, stretching south into the Ryukyus Islands, Taiwan, and the Philippines. In addition to building military might, the MND says that the CCP continues to use the Belt and Road Initiative to deepen ties with Indo-Pacific countries, in an effort to convince the international community to isolate Taiwan.
Taipei Mayor, safety cannot wait.
Taipei Mayor Chang Wan-an is fighting off criticism over his administration's decision to get rid of the Gongguan roundabout to replace it with a formal intersection. After the city government announced this week that they would remove the roundabout next month, many residents and civil groups called for Chiang to halt the change. Yesterday, Vision Zero Taiwan demonstrated at the roundabout to protest its removal. A local KMT representative also opposed the move, saying that Chiang needs to listen to public opinion. The roundabout has proven to be a thorny subject, as city councilors have repeatedly raised concerns about its removal. In particular, City Councilor Miao Poya pointed out that the city had done little public outreach and failed to take into account councilors' opposition to the demolition. But Chiang says that the roundabout has been the city's #1 spot for car accidents for 7 years running.
Everyone hopes for the best candidate.
KMT Chair Eric Chu is continuing to call for Taichung Mayor Lu Xiaoyan to succeed him as chair. That's as former Taipei Mayor Hao Longbin. Hao Longbin has been floated as a potential candidate. After reports surfaced about Hao, Chu called for people to calmly consider, saying that everyone still has hope for the most popular candidate. He emphasized that the registration for the chairmanship election was postponed in order to give everyone time to consider. This comes after Chu announced over the weekend that he would step down and called on Lu to run. Lu said she wasn't interested, but Chu has continued to voice his support for her, even after KMT lawmaker Lo Jiqiang announced his candidacy.
Israel declares Gaza City a combat zone.
Now turning to international news. Israel declares Gaza City a combat zone and halts humanitarian pauses in areas sheltering hundreds of thousands. That's after Israel has said that they will expand a military offensive to take control of Gaza City, the largest city in the Gaza Strip. We'll have more information later this evening as more developments are released. Afghanistan. Pakistani airstrikes kill 3.
Afghanistan. Pakistani airstrikes kill 3.
Afghanistan's foreign ministry says Pakistani airstrikes have killed 3 civilians and wounded 7 others in the east of the country. The ministry says that the strikes hit overnight and described the bombings as provocative. Pakistan has not commented on the strikes. Kabul has previously accused Pakistan of launching airstrikes in Afghanistan against suspected hideouts of the local arm of the Taliban. New rep to EU pledges utmost efforts.
Wu Xiao. Caucus meeting did not discuss personnel changes.
DPP Legislative Caucus Secretary General Wu Xiao says personnel changes weren't on the agenda at the legislative meeting today. This comes as there have been calls from the Green camp for the Legislative Caucus whip, K. Jianming, to step down. This morning, K said that observers shouldn't read too much into the meeting, as it wasn't about personnel changes. Wu Xiao said before the meeting that personnel changes would be considered in good time. This comes after President and Party Chair Lai Ching-te yesterday implied that he wanted K to step down, following several DPP and non-DPP members in doing so.
HSR tickets sell 460K in 8 hours.
Taiwan High-Speed Rail Company says it sold 460,000 tickets in just 8 hours after opening booking for 3 upcoming long weekends opened up at midnight. Passengers were able to book early bird tickets for Teachers' Day, the Mid-Autumn Moon Festival, and National Day, making for a total of 18 days of tickets. The THSR has said they upgraded their booking systems ahead of time to ensure a smooth experience for passengers. The rail operator says its systems are now prepared for about 38,000 customers at once, up 72% from the traffic the system handled when passengers booked tickets for Lunar New Year.